Modern life isn't actually modern. If it were, why do so many daily tasks still feel slow, awkward, and unnecessarily complicated? Somewhere in the world, small systems quietly remove friction from everyday life, not with flashy tech, but with thoughtful design and disciplined habits. Once you see how it works, you may start questioning why inconvenience is treated as normal where you live. By the end of this, you won't just rethink convenience. You'll rethink what advanced really means. The heated snowmelt road systems. Most countries treat heavy snowfall like a temporary shutdown. Schools close, offices delay, highways clog, trains stall. Commuters refresh weather apps and brace for chaos. Winter becomes something to endure rather than engineer around. But in certain regions of Japan, snowfall does not automatically mean disruption. Because some roads are built with underground snow melting systems. Warm water pipes or embedded heating elements run beneath the pavement, so melting snow from below as it falls. Instead of waiting for plows or spreading chemical salt after accumulation, the surface prevents buildup in the first place. The road remains visible, drivable, predictable. Public transport continues operating with minimal scheduled deviation. Traffic flows, businesses open. This isn't flashy technology. It doesn't trend online. It's infrastructure philosophy. Contrast that with countries where winter preparation is reactive, mobilizing fleets only after storms hit. There, snowfall is treated as an external force temporarily overpowering the system. In Japan, disruption is something to design against. The difference isn't just engineering, it's expectation. If a region regularly receives snow, the infrastructure assumes responsibility for continuity. The burden isn't placed solely on drivers or emergency crews. And that mindset, planning for continuity instead of tolerating interruption, echoes through everything else we're about to examine. Because weather is just the beginning. The real pattern isn't climate control, it's friction control. Smart reheat bath system. In many homes around the world, a bath is single use. Fill the tub, soak, drain it, refill for the next person. Each use restarts the process. Water flows, heat is lost, time resets. But in Japan, many household bathtubs are built with a reheating circulation system. Once filled, the water is maintained at a preset temperature through automated controls. If it cools, the system reheats it. If debris enters, it filters it. Family members can bathe sequentially without draining and refilling. It's not dramatic. It's not futuristic. It's deliberate. This design connects directly to Japan's bathing culture, where soaking is a daily ritual shared across households. Instead of treating each bath as isolated, the system treats it as a maintained resource. In countries where water usage is less regulated and bathing is more individualized, refilling feels normal. Waste is invisible because it's habitual. In Japan, repetition is optimized. Convenience here isn't about speed. It's about efficiency within routine. The system reduces water consumption, heating costs, and preparation time, without requiring behavioral change. It adapts to habit rather than forcing new ones. And that subtle alignment between technology and tradition is revealing. Because Japan doesn't redesign culture, it refines it. And the next example moves from private routine to public motion, where wasted seconds become far more visible. Self-order ticket dining system. In many countries, the longest part of dining isn't eating. It's waiting. Waiting for menus. Waiting to order. Waiting for the bill. Waiting to pay. The meal itself may take 20 minutes. The process around it can take twice that. But in thousands of Japanese restaurants, the transaction begins before you even sit down. At the entrance stands a vending-style ticket machine. You scan the photos, select your meal, pay immediately, and receive a printed ticket. You hand it to the staff. That's it. No negotiation. No splitting checks. No tip calculations. No lingering eye contact trying to get someone's attention. The kitchen starts preparing your order instantly. It feels mechanical at first, almost impersonal, but what it removes is variability. In many dining cultures, service speed fluctuates depending on staffing levels, tipping incentives, or customer volume. Japan eliminates that unpredictability. The system doesn't depend on mood or negotiation, it depends on structure. And structure compresses time, but food efficiency is still surface level. The next system reveals something deeper about how Japan treats everyday inconvenience. Integrated residential delivery lockers. Online shopping is global. Missed deliveries are universal. Except in many Japanese apartment complexes. Instead of leaving packages at doorsteps or attempting redelivery, residential buildings often include built-in delivery locker systems. Couriers place parcels in secure compartments. Share residents receive a notification and unlock the locker with a code whenever they return home. No paper slips, no waiting windows, no rearranging your schedule to match a delivery estimate. The system assumes something critical: packages will remain safe. In countries where porch theft is common, delivery systems evolve around distrust. Cameras, signature requirements, repeated drop-offs. Each defensive layer adds friction. In Japan, low theft rates allow systems designed for speed rather than protection. Trust reduces complexity. And when complexity shrinks, convenience grows. This is where culture and infrastructure meet. A secure social environment makes streamlined logistics possible. But what happens when friction is removed not just from deliveries, but from the smallest human interaction? That's where the next example begins. Contactless payment tray system. In Japan, when you pay with cash, you don't hand money directly to the cashier. You place it on a small tray. The cashier takes it from the tray and returns change the same way. It seems trivial, almost ceremonial, but it standardizes interaction. No awkward fumbling, no accidental touching, no rushed exchange. The ritual is smooth, predictable, and consistent across stores nationwide. In many countries, hand-to-hand exchange is casual and quick, but inconsistent. Change might be handed over loosely. Bills may be folded awkwardly. The pace varies depending on the person. Japan reduces micro-friction by removing ambiguity. The tray becomes a neutral zone. Convenience here is not about speed, it's about smoothness. Smoothness scales. When small transactions feel orderly, the overall system feels cleaner, more respectful, more controlled. That philosophy doesn't stop at counters. It continues into supermarkets, where even the act of bagging groceries is redesigned. Slide-through basket checkout design. Checkout in many supermarkets follows a predictable sequence. Unload cart, scan items, bag them, reload cart. It's repetitive and slightly inefficient. Each item is handled multiple times. In some Japanese supermarkets, the checkout counter eliminates that redundancy. Your shopping basket slides directly into a second basket that already contains neatly arranged bags. As the cashier scans items, they are placed directly into organized bags below the counter. You don't repack, you don't rearrange, you lift the filled basket and leave. The difference may only be seconds per customer, but seconds multiply across thousands of transactions every day. The design anticipates motion before it happens. Instead of adapting to inefficiency, it removes it. That anticipation is the pattern emerging in every example so far. Japan doesn't redesign life dramatically, it refines it incrementally. But refinement becomes even more powerful when applied to something far more serious. Nationwide earthquake early alert network. Natural disasters cannot be prevented, but reaction time can be extended. Japan's earthquake early warning system detects seismic waves before major shaking arrives. Alerts are sent automatically to smartphones, television broadcasts, public transit systems, and factory equipment. Sometimes the warning is only a few seconds, but seconds matter. So people brace themselves, trains slow down, industrial machinery pauses, elevators stop at the nearest floor. Contrast this with countries where alert systems are localized, delayed, or dependent on manual broadcasting. Preparedness in Japan is automated. It's embedded into infrastructure. Convenience here is not comfort, it's survivability. And that redefines what modern truly means. Because modernity isn't just about convenience in daily routines, it's about resilience under pressure. But the next example returns to everyday life. and reveals how integration solves inefficiency at scale. Foldable commuter bike integration. Last mile transportation is often the weakest link in urban mobility. Drive to the station, search for parking, walk long distances, transfer repeatedly. Each step introduces delay. In Japan, compact folding bicycles are engineered specifically for commuters. Riders fold them into slim carrying bags and bring them on board trains without disrupting others. Cycling and rail travel blend seamlessly. There's no need for separate bike racks or oversized spaces. The system accommodates flexibility without creating obstruction. In many countries, bicycles are restricted on transit during peak hours. They're treated as logistical problems rather than integrated tools. Japan designs for coexistence. Public and personal transportation are not separate systems competing for space. They are complementary. Integration reduces friction, and friction reduction is becoming a pattern too obvious to ignore. But perhaps the most subtle example of all doesn't involve movement or payment. It involves light. Blue L. ED. Behavioral street lighting. In certain neighborhoods across Japan, blue LED streetlights have been installed after research suggested they correlate with reductions in crime and improved public calmness. The concept is simple. Instead of increasing patrol presence or visible enforcement, environmental design shifts behavior quietly. Blue light is believed to create a psychological cooling effect. Streets feel calmer. Tension lowers subtly. Whether the effect is fully psychological or partially symbolic, the intent matters. It's proactive rather than reactive. Such in many places, crime prevention focuses on response. Cameras, alarms, sirens, visible policing. Japan experiments with environmental influence. It's a quieter form of problem solving, not dramatic, not confrontational, just incremental optimization. And when small optimizations accumulate, they reshape daily experience. Which brings us to the deeper truth behind all of these systems, and the question that challenges everything we call modern. Frictionless public infrastructure culture. Here's the uncomfortable part. Many of these systems are not technologically impossible elsewhere. They're culturally incompatible. Japan's convenience emerges from social discipline, low tolerance for disorder, long-term planning, collective responsibility. In countries that prioritize individual flexibility over collective efficiency, some of these systems struggle to function. Convenience is not just invention. It's agreement. Agreement on how to behave. Agreement on how to share space. Agreement on what normal should feel like. And that might be the real reason Japan sometimes makes other places feel outdated. Not because of technology, but because of expectation. At the beginning, I asked a simple question. If modern life is truly modern, why does it still feel inconvenient? The systems we explored don't depend on futuristic fantasy. They depend on removing friction, small design choices, predictable behavior, your infrastructure built on responsibility instead of improvisation. None of these ideas are impossible elsewhere, but they require alignment and shared expectations. So is convenience a technology issue or a cultural one? Once you start noticing daily friction, it's hard to ignore. And that awareness might be the real beginning of change.